Hello and welcome. Thank you for joining me once again. Today we're going to be talking about homonyms. That's right, okay? It's a very interesting topic. Also, we'll be learning about base words and their endings. And finally, we'll be learning about some common symbols. You might have seen them in books or somewhere, maybe on posters. So we'll be learning about some of those symbols, okay? You ready? Alright, we're going to be starting with common symbols. Some common symbols in the English language. Now, what are symbols? Let's look at some symbols. Can you see them? Alright, so these first sets of symbols, let's talk about them. They are called quotation marks. Can you say that? Say quotation. Quotation. Very good. So these sets of marks here, they are called quotation marks. Sometimes there are two of them, sometimes there's just one, but they are always a pair, okay? Sometimes you have two on the left and two on the right. Sometimes you just have one on the left and one on the right, okay? But they are, either way, they are what? Both quotation marks. Alright, let me show you some examples of how they are used. His mom said, "Stop playing with your food." And so he replied, "Okay, mother." So do you notice the quotation marks? Here and here. Alright, so what are they doing in this? What are they doing here? They are showing us that his mom, this character in this story, this is where they started talking and this is where they stopped, okay? And I'm sure you probably have seen it in some books. So quotation marks show what the characters or the people in the story are saying, okay? So whenever I say quotation marks, it's to show what they are saying, okay? This is the open quotation, this is the close. This one shows that this is where they stopped talking at that moment. All right, so let's look at this again. See, his mom said. Now we have a different kind of quotation mark, but it's still doing the same thing. It's telling us what his mom said. "Stop playing with your food," and then it ends here. And now, and so he replied, and then it starts here to tell us what he said, what he replied to, what he said back to his mom. "Okay, mother." See, then it closes it. So these are quotation marks, and they tell us what a person or a character is saying. All right. Next, we'll go to this. This one is called an exclamation mark. Okay, it shows that whatever has been said is a strong statement. Whenever you see this at the end of a sentence or even at the end of a word, it shows that it's a strong statement that has just been made. Okay, a strong statement or a loud statement. For example, it said his mom said, "Stop playing with your food." We know she said it seriously because of this quotation mark. We know that she said she said it very strong because of this quotation mark. Okay, it shows us that it was a strong statement or a loud statement. All right, and these dots, they are like full stops, but when you see them like this, 3 or more than 3 in a row, it shows that there was a long pause. So we read it like this: his mom said, "Stop playing with your food." And so he replied, okay, mother. Alright, so this shows that there was a pause between okay and mother. Alright, so whenever you see this in a story, it means there was a pause. Okay, and the more dots, okay, there are, it means the longer the pause. All right, so for example, this one is not very long, a very long pause. If we had many more dots, then it would have become like okay, mother. All right, that's simple, right? Okay, now let's look at this symbol right here. Do you recognize it? It's the symbol for the naira, and it's always written before the number or before the amount. Okay, so you write it first and then you put the number. So even though we say 100 naira, when you're writing it down, you always put this symbol first before the amount or the number. So this is an example of a 100 naira note. You see, even on the 100 naira, the symbol appears before the amount. Is next 50 kobo. Okay, in the case of kobo, the symbol comes after the amount, or after the number. And kobo is also a Nigerian currency. It's used also for Nigerian money. How many of you have seen a kobo coin before? Okay, these are examples of kobo coins. This is 1 kobo, 50 kobo, 10 kobo. All right, and this one is a 1 naira coin and a 2 naira coin. I'm sure many of you, I think that many of you haven't seen kobo coins before, okay, or coins before. So this is what coins look like. All right. All right. Now we'll come to the dollar. This symbol here is the symbol for the dollar. All right. So, and just like the naira, you write it before the amount. This is an example of a $5 note, for example. Okay. And last we have the bracket. All right. So we're not going to be talking much about it for now, but the bracket simply is to show, is to bring your attention to the words that are inside it. Okay, so for example, if you see like what just appeared, so the words, they're usually always words inside the bracket. Okay, there are always things inside the bracket. So those things, they are to bring your attention. The bracket is to bring your attention to those things. All right, let's start talking about homonyms. Okay, homonyms. Now, what are homonyms? A homonym is any word that has more than one meaning. Okay? Homonyms are words that have more than one meaning. For example, this is the word lie, L-I-E. To lie means to say something that isn't true. Now, little kids, you shouldn't lie, okay? Now, also, L-I-E, lie, it also means to lay down, okay, like on the floor or on a bed. Like when you say I want to lie down, okay? So you see, the word lie is a homonym because it has more than one meaning. This is the word mean. Like when you say, what do you mean? Okay, you use that to ask a question. Mean also means someone who is rude, okay? Someone who is not kind. So you can say the opposite of mean is kind. All right. Next we have the word right. Right. Right can mean like the opposite of left is right. Right. Also, right means something that is correct. If I say you are right, I mean you are correct. This is the word rock. Okay, so a rock is a small hard piece that you find on the ground. Okay, also to rock To rock also means to shake something, okay? To shake something. So you see, rock has two meanings. A rock, you can find a rock on the ground. It's like a stone. And to rock something means to shake something. Alright, just ignore the little boy, okay? Now let's go to rose. A rose is the name of a flower, okay? A rose is a kind of flower or a type of flower. Then also rose is the past action of rise. Okay, when you say I rose up or he rose again, okay? So you see it has two meanings. One talks about getting up and the other one talks about a type of flower. Tire. Tire is also a homonym. Okay, remember what are homonyms? They have more than one meaning. They can have two, they can have three, sometimes they have more. Now a tire is a round object that you find attached to a car. It helps the car to move. Okay, they usually roll around. Also, when you say tire, for example, if I say I am tired, okay, tire also talks about a state of being weak and exhausted. Okay, for example, we want to sleep, so tire is also a homonym. Now we have the word well. Well means if I say I wish you well or I hope you are doing well, okay, it just means someone who is good or to feel good. Okay, say I'm feeling well, that means you're feeling good. A well is also it's a kind of place where people go to get water. Okay, a well, it usually has water in it, so that's a well. Now orange, you should know what this one is. We've talked about it before. Orange is a color, and orange is also what? A fruit that people eat. Alright, little boy, we're almost done now. I think you should fly away. And finally we have dry. Dry refers to something that doesn't have any water, okay, something that is very dry. Dry also is an action word. It means to hang something outside, for example, or to just find a way to make sure that something has no moisture or water in it. Okay, so when I dry something, I'm trying to make sure that it becomes free of water or moisture. Okay, and also dry is also an adjective. Okay, it just means something that is dry. So I hope you understand homonyms much better. Okay, now we've come to base words and their endings. We're almost done. Okay, so what are base words? Base words are words that have nothing added to them yet. Okay, they are words that don't have anything added to them yet. So these are all base words. Okay, you have the word want, go, stop, shine or shiny, safe, dry, gas, class, and rake. So all these words are base words. They don't have anything added to them yet. Now, there are several endings that are usually added to base words, like the S, the ES, the ING, the ED, the ER, and the EST. Okay, there are also many other endings, but we'll just be talking about these ones. The S, for example, is usually used to show plural. Remember our video on plurals? The S also has other uses, okay? But anyway, when the S is added to a base word like wants, it becomes what? Wants. Okay? Now when you add an ING to want, what does want become? Wanting. What about an ED? Wanted, very good. It becomes a past tense. This is the word go. Right? Now for the word go, we don't add an S, we add an ES, and it becomes goes. Okay? He goes to school. Alright? Then when you add an ing, it becomes what? Going. Going. Alright? This is the word stop. When you add an S, what does stop become? Say it. Very good. When you add an ing, what does stop become? Stopping. Okay? When you add an ed, stop becomes stopped. Okay? A P is also added before the ing and the ed. Okay? But stop is the base word. Alright? Shine or shiny. When you add, let's start with the word shine. When you add an S, it becomes shines. When you add an ing, it becomes what? Shining. When you add an ER now let's go to shiny. When you add an ER to shiny, okay, it becomes shinier. Remember, I and Y usually they're usually similar, okay? Sometimes they have similar sounds. So in the English language, they change the Y to an I and they add an ER. Okay, sometimes they add an EST and it becomes shiniest. Shiny, shinier, shiniest, right? Safe becomes what? When you add an ER, what does it become? Safer. When you add an EST, safest. Safe, safer, safest, right? Dry, dries, drying, dried, dryer, driest. Gas, gases. Class, classes. Rake, rakes. Raking and raked. Alright? So these are some base words and their endings. Alright everyone, that's all we have for this class. Let me leave you with some homework. Yes, watch the video again carefully and learn all the lessons taught within the video. Okay, so I want you to watch this video again and again until you've learned everything within the video. That's all for now. Thank you so much for staying. Hope I see you again later. Bye.